words and music in the music business. What we're about to do is kind of bring you some informal information, views and comments of writers in the industry, and a little bit about the music business in Nashville, Tennessee. And with us today we have our foursome, myself, Buddy Mize, fellow songwriter Ira Allen, and of course our genial Wally, did I say host?
Yes, but I'm not.
Well, you could be.
Oh, I could be,
You
yeah.
probably should be.
If it paid enough, I would be.
Wally C.W. Lewis, or the great Walloo. And of course our other fellow joining us is Vern Pratt. So if you'd like to stay with us, we're going to bring you some information about the music business. First off, I would like to ask each of our participants, what are the main ingredients, or what do you think that a writer needs to be aware of?
Brent Actifed, of the three leading cold...
Be a part of this industry. And we'll start with Wally. Opinions that a writer might need.
Well, I think that the one basic thing that to me comes to mind would have to be first, would be a sincere desire and a commitment, not unlike a lot of things, you know. I mean, it's got to be a pretty strong commitment to do this. I mean, you know, just bound determination, you know, I'm going to do it, you know. Don't you think, Ira?
I think so. I think you've got to make sure that if when you're coming to Nashville or any place where they write in the center of the industry, as it were, where a lot of great writers collectively live and work on a daily basis, and they want to be part of that world and sharing that success. I think the one thing they can bring to town that can get them through it all is their dreams. And the other thing to temper those dreams with is don't be in a hurry to achieve certain successes. Take your time, put all your bricks or dominoes in a row, as it were, and stay with it, as Wally said, with determination.
Okay, so we've got determination and desire, and well, you probably have a lot of viewpoints, but I feel you have to have a certain degree of God-given talent that allows you to participate in this business. And of course we'll learn more. Be right back. We hope that you've got your notepad and pencil. I think we'll all agree that if you're going to be a songwriter or a writer, you've got to have a major requirement here being a pencil and a notepad.
Oh boy.
What are some other things that a writer needs to be aware of, Wally?
Well, of course, we'll talk about desire and commitment, and then I think that you might sit down in Podunk, Idaho or Arkansas or something and write songs and try to mail them in, and you're going to be awful lucky if you get anything done with them. And then one day you might decide to come to Nashville and try it full bore. Isn't that right, Ira? So, you know,
Right.
What do you think about that?
And when you do that, which is a correct step, if you want to do it as a business, you go where they do it every day professionally, and you learn how to work within that system, if you will, or that climate. But in coming here, for example, to Music City, be sure to bring some kind of a training or gift so that you can work during the day or whatever, have a job, have a means to support yourself. Don't come here with the idea that you're going to walk into some downtown large publishing company and that they're going to put you right on their staff, because it just doesn't happen that way.
Covering again, we're talking about whether you need to write, if you're going to write, whether you can do that where you live in your immediate location, and then whether you can actually compete the best unless you move here. And we kind of get the impression that if you're going to do it, you need to be in a major metropolitan music area. We're talking mostly about Nashville, and that's where the majority of our writers are. Although you will find that writers occasionally do that out of town, they actually don't learn the business and the understanding of it till they get here and participate and learn the publishing roots, if you will. And also, Ira says that if you're going to be here, you better be prepared to have another means of sustaining, another job, way, because you just don't walk into town overnight and sign up with a major publisher and it's all peaches and cream after that. That it? Kind of a couple. Well, and be prepared to stay here if you're going to be here. Come here and join the industry, live here, meet all the people in the industry, and find out.
If you want to look at it from that perspective and you want to put some kind of a time frame on it, I've always said 7 years, for lack of a better, say 6 or say 8, but 7 years in Nashville, working hard at your craft, and after that 7 years is done, you can look at it and say, okay, here's what I've accomplished in 7 years. I mean, doctors go to get the doctorate for 7 years to college, and that's basically what you're doing as a songwriter. You're going to college for advanced courses, etc. And I think you get your doctorate here, give it at least 7 years. And then if you look at it and say, geez, I haven't accomplished anything, I better find something else to do with my life and keep this as maybe an enjoyable hobby. But I think 7 years is at least a fair time to allow yourself to.
You agree with 7 years?
Well, yeah, that's a good mark. That's a good mark to start with. Again, I think if you're going to come to town to write songs, you need to bring the tools of your trade. Bring a guitar, a keyboard, or whatever it is that you play, and your little tape recorder so you can put them on tape, and bring money. You know, bring money. If you don't have a great big amount of money, then like Ira said, bring your birth certificate and stuff so you can get a job, because you're going to run out of money, right? Isn't that right?
Yeah, there's not going to be any income from songwriting, even if you have a great gift for it. And you get a hit within the first year. You know, it's very difficult to have an income from that until after it's been logged on the radio. It takes sometimes a year or more to collect the royalties.
When you say logged on the radio and a year or more to collect royalties, what does that mean exactly? How does a songwriter get paid?
Well, royalty system. They get paid royalties for performance. And let Wally kind of guess ball as to exactly what those are.
Performance is where they play it over the radio or television or jukeboxes or something like that, and they have a couple of performance organizations that you can join that are free. You know, there's CSAC and BMI and ASCAP, and these are companies that collect this money from the radio stations for you. Agencies, they house publishers, and they pay you for your performance on radio or television or jukeboxes or whatever. BMI is one, Broadcast Music Incorporated, ASCAP, and then they have a company called CSAC, and they pay you, that's for performances. And maybe you'd like to tell them about the mechanicals.
Well, I can tell, or Buddy can tell, mechanicals basically is your sales of tapes, CDs, sheet music,
Any
storybooks,
mechanical?
any mechanical or
means-
product thereof whereby your words and or music are used.
Film, synchronization.
Film, videos, right.
And they pay you based on their payment schedule. They all pay just a little bit differently. And if you're not affiliated with ASCAP, BMI, or CSAC, then the publishing company that you write for should be, and they in turn will maybe help designate which of the licensing agencies that you will write with. Affiliated with the licensing organizations as a writer. Somewhere along the writing road, you have to be signed up with a publishing company that is affiliated with one of the licensing agencies in order for you to get your money. It could be, as we've said before, ASCAP, CSAC, or BMI, and these people keep a kind of a tracking record of where your songs are performed, and they in turn pay the publishers and pay you. And we've also discussed that the mechanical payments are from the ways that any way the song is reproduced, that you will get paid from a mechanical form of reproduction.
And it is not the licensing company's responsibility to pay you for mechanicals. It is for the publishing company to keep track of that and to pay you.
Right. Okay. Wally, you got any other comments?
Well, in choosing which one that you want to affiliate with, nobody gets irritated if you go and talk to each one of them. That's perfectly all right.
Oh, yeah.
And you can go and talk to them. But I will tell you that you can't actually accomplish affiliation until you've got a song that's either performed nationally, right?
It has to be recorded. It has to be recorded.
And
It has
released.
to be recorded.
Does it have to be
It
released?
has to be released, but
Okay.
it also has to be with a publisher that is affiliated with these companies. If these publishers, there may be many publishers in your hometown, or a publisher that is published, may it be a book publisher, or published any other form of media, but he may not be affiliated with a licensing agency, and if they're not, then you won't get paid for any performance. You can put a
And
record
we're
out.
talking about the individual song being affiliated with the publisher. You don't have to be all your songs going in, signed
Just
as an
per
exclusive
song.
writer, just
Per
per
song.
song.
Per
We
song.
didn't make a point of that
Yeah.
earlier, and
We were talking about exclusive writers, and we'll cover that after a couple miles down the road. When you're writing, you might as well make sure that just ask, it's this simple, just ask the publisher if they're affiliated with ASCAP, BMI, or CSAC, and then you decide, and they decide together which licensing agency that you'd be best writing.
And they may, as an individual, have publishing firms under each one of those. Same person, you can have a company, a publishing company, affiliated with CSAC and ASCAP and BMI. You don't have to have just one publisher. As a writer, you affiliate with one only, but as a publisher, you can affiliate with all of them.
Right.
Well, now, there's one other thing. Let's say that a guy is in Oklahoma someplace, and he's mailing in his songs to somebody, and he's not affiliated. You can write to BMI, ASCAP, or CSAC, and they'll probably send you some information on affiliating with them, and you can choose that way. You can also mail your songs to the publisher. I'll have to tell you now that I don't see much hope for that, though it has been done. Some success in mailing a song in. It has happened a few times.
It's usually been a long time ago,
Yeah.
but not recently.
Yeah, it's not ordinary, you know, by any stretch of the imagination, don't you think?
Well, it's come to where that the publishers have found that if they don't open these unsolicited tapes, they've kept themselves free from lawsuits. So they generally, a writer comes to them as a reference of another writer, or someone that they know that this is a person of reputable reputation from both sides, the writer and the publisher, and they bring those in and bring them to some degree of awareness of what's going on in the industry. There's a lot of things in the industry that we'll be talking about from time to time. We won't be able to cover them in every meeting, but
And we won't be able to cover them in the total detail. Well, that's part of the reason for moving to Nashville. It isn't just to learn to write, it's to learn the business side of writing as well.
Yes, and if you come down here to put your toe in the water, you're going to be disappointed. Okay?
no, you got to get wet.
You got to get wet.
Jump
That's
in.
the way it
Come
is.
on in and swim.
Sink or swim with the rest of us, yes.
Since we're talking about a lot of things that, since this is also from the writer's viewpoint, let's discuss just one of these little jewels and gems that are out there for the writer, the term hook.
Okay.
It's a time that everybody knows about, and we'll be right back and we'll talk about hooks, not fishing. Discuss a little bit about hooks. So if you've still got your pencil and paper, we're going to talk about, in relationship to songwriting, how the word hook applies. What does the word hook mean to you, Ira?
Reach out and grab your listeners with something that they can't get out of the mind the first time they hear it. It becomes a hook. You've got them. You've got their attention.
Wally?
And you know, that hook was invented by the songwriters to describe a thing as like a play on words, a catchy little thought, you know, something like "All Home's Where the Heart Is" or something like that, and they changed that to something else.
What
you know.
is a hook?
Well, a hook is that part of the song that makes you remember it.
Well, let me
know.
ask you, is the title the hook?
Not always.
But it can
Sometimes.
be?
It can be.
It can be the hook.
Right.
It can be a musical hook, nothing to do with the lyric. It can be something that the guitar player is playing, a riff that he plays.
But it doesn't have to be the title. It doesn't have to be the hook.
No, and all songs don't have necessarily just one hook in them. They may be
Well, and
many
I
hooks.
always felt that the title was one of your major hooks.
It can be.
Can be.
It can be.
Can
It doesn't
be.
have to be.
I know it doesn't have to be, but I always felt that it had to be at least one of the hooks.
Well, can I cite an example? All right. If you walked up to the average country music fan and asked him to do Jambalaya, he wouldn't start out, "Goodbye, Joe, me gotta go," okay? He goes, "Jambalaya," and there's your hook. Okay?
Well, on the same line then, what you're saying is this.
Where's the hook now? Wait a minute. I missed
Well,
that.
it's in the chorus. You know, you ask the average person. Now, the most memorable part of the song to the average person is probably the hook.
That's the title.
Okay.
Isn't that the
Well,
title?
Yeah, it happens to be. Okay.
But in this case here, that I'm going to give you now, it's not the title, but it is the hook. For example, for 35 years, I stood on a bandstand as an entertainer, and I would say
They said, get the hook.
no. At least half of the time when they would request particular songs, I'll give you an example. It was obvious what the hook was for a lot of the people out there because they didn't ask for Proud Mary. Half of the time they asked for Rolling on the River.
Rolling on the River.
So that line, for some reason, was identifiable with that song more so
Than
than
the title.
Proud Mary.
It was a hook.
Yeah,
To be sure.
yeah.
And especially for its time and connotations and so forth.
So the title doesn't have to be the hook, but it can be the hook. But there can be other things in
Other little hooks in there.
More than one hook.
Oh yeah, that
Many.
can be.
And
You may have 25 people listening to the song and you may have 25 different hooks. I mean, it's possible. But usually the hook is from songwriters refer to what a vast majority of the listening audience seems to attach themselves to. It may be the title, it may be a line in the song, it may be a musical thing. I like that when that drum does, or when the guitar player does, or and so on.
Well,
and so
can I give you another example? Lucille, okay? It ain't at a bar in Toledo or across from a depot, that, you know, say. But you come down and the title of the song is Lucille, but you know where the hook is? You picked a fine time to leave, see? Because if you walk up to the average country music fan and ask him to sing Lucille, that's what he's going to sing you.
Yeah.
That's the hook, the meat.
So a hook can be throughout
Anything.
the song, anywhere.
Yeah, it just whatever appeals to the greater majority of the people, I would say, would be your main hook.
For example, the song that you and I wrote, okay? And I don't know how valid this has been over the years, but I had performed it a couple, 3 times in a nightclub. And one night, someone came up and asked me to do the Yo-Yo song. And I had no idea what it was. I was thinking about, you know, Bouncing Rubber Ball, Brian Hyland, all these things, and I couldn't think of what in the world the song they're talking about. I said, I don't know which song you're talking about, and to my knowledge, I don't know any songs. So you've done it. And so a few nights later, I went ahead, for my own enjoyment, and I went ahead and did Hang On Again. I didn't announce that I wrote it or anything. I just went ahead and did the tune. And as I got to that line, I said, this is the song they were talking about. My heart is like a yo-yo on a string.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the whole line, it was the yo-yo song.
Something catchy, a phrase, a
Catchphrase,
point,
play on
words.
words. Yeah.
Is a hook ever done musically?
Yeah.
Johnny Cash, probably one of the greatest examples with Luther's style of playing. Almost identifiable. The fans demand that when Johnny's singing, he's got that tick-tick-a-tung, tick-a-tung, tick-a-tung. Right.
Buck
So-
Owens is dino-dino-dino-dino.
Exactly. How about a song where the music was a hook? Unchained Melody.
Um,
Beautiful melody. So.
How about Hank Thompson? How about this for a hook? We'll have him sing with just a touch of reverb on the verses. When we get to that chorus, we're going to explode him with a lot of reverb. That became very identifiable with him and with the soul of those songs. When they get to the chorus, they did. So that is a hook. That's what I most remember about his songs, even if I don't remember the titles.
Tex Ritter had one that Elvis picked up.
what one?
There's a new moon over my shoulder. You remember that? And an old love still in my heart. What you told me the day we had a 2-part, putting a little A in between the syllables, and Elvis picked that up.
A little expression.
Yeah, it
Syllable.
syncopated the lyrics of the
And
song.
made that, therefore, created another hook.
Yeah.
Well, boy, I feel like we could catch a whole bunch of tuna if we went out right now.
Yeah.
Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Are you
with
all
some-
hooked out?
Yeah, let's get some salmon or something else. About songwriting and the music business. And talking about writing songs, we're going to just briefly touch on just a couple little items, and then we'll discuss some of them a little bit more in detail. One is that we're under the awareness, we're in the attitude of what we're saying here, it has to do with commercial songs. And by that we're going to say songs that you're more likely to hear on the radio. A person can write about anything that may not be considered commercial enough to make a record or a person that would help to make their living. So let's talk about some of the ideas, where an idea comes from, and how do you get ideas, and then we'll also go on to, do you have to live those ideas to write about them?
Yeah.
Let's start, Wally. You can comment first on
Okay.
where do you get your ideas? Where do ideas come from?
Gosh, they come from everywhere. You know, titles of books, titles of movies. Sometimes I've done that, or just thinking about it all the time. You know, making notes, writing them down as you go. If you don't write them down, you're gonna lose them. You know. So as you get these little ideas, these little play on words or whatever, if you think it's maybe a commercial idea, something that's a saleable item, if it were done right.
For example, a play on words. What do you mean by a play on words?
Well, you know, for instance, some street saying like, for instance, the payback is hell or whatever. Okay, you could take that and maybe dress that down a little bit.
You're right, I'm left, she's gone.
Exactly. Something some friends of mine wrote the other day that there's a new Paycheck record on called "Lefty Was Right All Along." Okay,
That's right.
You know,
That's a play on words.
Yeah,
You're
play
talking
on
about.
words. Yeah.
Where do you get your titles from, Ira?
Play on words, movie titles that are not musical movies, a library just looking at titles of books, if you wish, reading a magazine, imagining a story and what I want to write as a scenario of a story, and finding at some point in time, either during the process of writing that story down, on the process of writing, forming what I want to write in my mind before I start putting it down on paper, which I do sometimes, finding a, as you say, a hook line or a title line that serves that. For example, when you and I wrote Hangin' On, originally what we had, if memory serves me correct, was I took it out of another song. He said, I like that, but what the line was not just enough to keep me hanging on. The title line when we started was, you love me just enough to keep me hanging on.
So therefore, that's where the title came out,
Right,
little by little.
right.
Well, titles can be found from books. Titles can be found from movies.
How about something that somebody says?
Eddie Miller, who wrote "Release Me," heard it right off the side of the bandstand. Just heard somebody say, "Why don't you release me?"
Yeah.
And
One of the
therefore,
greatest country songs ever written.
so a lot of times, just the comments that other people say, there's where your ideas are going to be. So it says, listen, pay attention to what's going on, and
Be a writer 24 hours a day.
And be a good listener 48 hours a day, right?
in other words, you have to listen to get your titles. That's where your titles and your ideas come from, just listening and viewing other things in life, writing about life.
Right.
There's another question. Do you have to live the part to write about it? Do you have to go out with the smoky-filled bar rooms and whiskey honky-tonks to write that kind of life? Do you have to live in a rose garden full of bouquets of life to write about that?
Well, I'll attempt to answer that in part, at least. First of all, either way, you can either do it through, you can write through your imagination, or you can write through your experience. If you're going to write about things, barrooms, it's better to have visited that, because other than that, you only have some reservoir that they're smoky or whatever. But you might want to write from your imagination a story, such as Primrose Lane. Now, maybe somebody lived on Primrose Lane, but when you get into the content of that lyric, it is more of a fantasy thing, conjured up from the mind. What was the Big Rock Candy Mountain is a good example of what I'm really trying to say, as far as from the mind to the fantasy mind. So,
You don't think a guy really lived in a big rock candy mountain?
not that I'm aware of.
I think the guy actually saw Rudolph. I believe that.
Rudolph, thank you. You saved me again, Wally.
In other words, you better be prepared for your imagination to go to work.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you haven't lived it, yeah.
Yeah. All right, we'll be right back in a couple of seconds. Don't go away. If you care to bring your notepad and your pencil, just draw up a chair and thank you for joining us. Ira, Wally,
Yes, yes, yes.
what do you think are the most important ingredient that a person needs to bring with them if they're going to think about being in the music business?
Well, if they're, you know, they have to desire to do this. I mean, overwhelming, man, because you're going to give up if you're not really committed to it. I think that's the main thing. And an awful lot of people have the basic skills, you know, they can make up a little verse and they can rhyme words or something like that. A lot of them don't know what the subject matter should be if they go to write. And if they come to Nashville, just the competition here will have them writing a whole lot better than what they'd intended to whenever they set out to write. But the tools of their trade, a legal pad, a pen, some idea of some subject matter that you want to approach, maybe a hook, some twist on words, or an idea for a good song or story, and sit down and get started and start trying to bring it about in a form that you've heard other songs be in, you know. And come here with that in mind, do succeed, believe it or not, if they keep their eye on what it was that they came to do. And if you have the basic skills, then remember that most of the time subject matter can be the determining factor, and you write whatever you can to the best of your ability. Most people come to town knowing how to write songs. They know how to write, but they don't know what to write. And as you stay, you begin to hone your skills, and just the competition here will have you writing a whole lot better than what you'd actually had in mind when you came, okay? That's what I think, you know.
Ira?
I can't find anything wrong with it myself. It sounds like he knows what he's talking about.
Well, he said most people that already come here are professional. Ding, 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 ding. Welcome back to this business of words and music. And our guest today is my friend, I guess we've known over about 30-something years, a recording artist, major recording artist on Dot and Liberty labels, and fine songwriter that's had songs recorded by other major artists, including Billy Walker, Sonny James, Merle Haggard, and of course he himself recorded some of those hits. Welcome, Wally Lewis.
Well, thank you, Buddy Mize. Of course, he was co-writer on one of the songs that we got cut by Merle Haggard.
Well,
he kind of skipped over that.
Don't talk that up. Don't talk that up. We're only talking about Wally Lewis today.
Well, I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Well, we're going to ask some information that we have about the business of songwriting, and we're going to cover today. We hear that when you write a song, sometimes it's referred to like building a house, and if that's true, then every house has to have some form of structure. And my question to Wally today is, Wally, do you feel songs have to have a structure, and what is a structure in songwriting to you?
Well, let's see. It would be a structure would be a consistency in the manner in which the verses and the chorus were laid, a pattern, if you will, a framework. For instance, 2 rhyming lines in the first verse, 8 syllables in the first line, 9 syllables in the second, 8 in the third, 9 in the fourth, and the second and third lines would rhyme or something. And the chorus, maybe each line of the chorus rhymes, and then there would be 1, 2, 3 verses in the chorus, twice. You know.
Do you think the song has to have a rhyme to make properly structured?
No, I don't. An example you cited to me the other day of Laura, you know, barely rhymed at all. I think they had one rhyming sequence in it, and that was it.
We're talking about the Laura, the Leon Ashley version.
Yeah.
There was a pop song called Laura too, that was a little different. But in Leon Ashley's song Laura, it didn't rhyme at all.
Right.
Well, what would that structure be then? It would still be just a 4-line structure be free of the rhyme.
Right. But they're all metered out. Laura, take your hands and touch my body, da 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 da. You know, it's all metered out, and the lines numerically, syllable-wise, are all correct. It just didn't rhyme. But the title line here is so strong that it didn't matter. Tell me what he's got that I ain't got. Laura, tell me what he's got that I ain't got.
Is that the title? I thought the title was just Laura.
It is Laura, but I mean it's in the title line. Okay, the whole line's not used as the title, part of it. But in the title line, it's Laura, tell me what he's got that I ain't got. The title line.
Okay, what else do you have to say about structure?
Well, it can be as wide and as varied as the different types of poetry. After all, a song is like poetry set to music, right? You can have waltzes. You can have a structure where 3 lines of the verse rhyme, and then the title line doesn't rhyme at all. Or you can have it where 3 lines of the verse rhyme, and then you have the title line and 3 more lines that rhyme differently, and then the line comes along that rhymes with the 4th line of the first verse. Like, don't call my name out your window when I'm leaving, okay? What was the thing? Don't think twice, it's all right.
How was that rhyme?
Well, for instance, well, I'm headed down that long, lonesome road, gal, where I'm bound. I can't tell. Tell is a rhyming word. But goodbye is too good a word, gal, gal and gal, okay? So I'll just say fare thee well. Now we're going to 3-line rhyming sequence. I'm a-thinking and I'm wandering all the way down the road. I once loved a woman, a child I'm told. I gave her my heart, but she wanted my soul. But don't think twice, it's all right. So it's all right don't have to rhyme with nothing, you know, and they laid it out very well. Been several songs written that way, but that's one rhyming sequence. And those in the games people play, you know.
How's in the games people? Is that different than the?
Well, in its own way, yeah, because he's going to come off of like.
Have Wally cite a couple of examples on the guitar. Just happen to have the old
Just happen to
songwriters walking
main
stick
tool.
here, yeah.
The main tool. Folks.
And another ingredient, I don't know whether we've mentioned that a writer might need pencil and paper, but sometime you might need some form of communication,
Exactly.
maybe a piano, and you might not need this. But if you're going to be a guitar player, you better have what is
My
that?
favorite pick. I swallowed that once. Everybody's got a girlfriend, but only the guitar player's got his pick.
Iceman.
Okay? All right.
What about an Iceman?
Yeah, an Iceman has a pick, but it's a different kind. All right? Now, this example of this rhyming pattern here may sound complicated, but it's really not. Okay? It's really not a complicated pattern at all. As a matter of fact, once it's set, it's a whole lot easier to write than a lot of them. Oh, the games people play now, every night and every day now, never meaning what they say now, and never saying what they mean. And they while away the hours in their ivory towers till they're covered up with flowers in the back of a black limousine. A lot-and-da, 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 and dee. I'm talking about you and me and the games people play. Sounds like a difficult rhyming pattern, but it's really not once you get into it.
Structure.
The framework, all laid down. Now all 3 verses are going to be the same rhyming pattern. And can you say the little lot and dot and D's? Yeah, when the verses are strong enough, you can do that. Okay, and it's just a nice kind of little sing-along thing. Kind of takes the place of a guitar ride or a guitar break in the song, right? And it's very powerful, very good. Give somebody a sing-along thing. Huh? For instance, another thing would be "Busted." The Harlan Howard song.
Why don't you sing a little bit and show them exactly
Okay.
what we're talking about?
All right, if you sit down to write a song with a title called Busted, the first thing to think about is Busted is going to be pretty hard to rhyme, okay? So you might want to set up a rhyming pattern similar to this. My bills are all due and the baby needs shoes and I'm busted. So I better get in a different key. My bills are all due and the baby needs shoes and I'm busted. Cotton is down to $1/4 a pound and I'm busted. I got a cow that went dry and a hen that won't lay. A big stag of bills getting bigger each day. And the county's gonna haul my belongings away 'cause I'm busted. If you'll notice at the end, there's an inner rhyme at the end of the first line on the first 2 lines, and then the title line, I'm busted. And then he's got 3 lines there that rhyme together, and then here comes the title line that rhymes again, and the title lines at the end of it is busted, because he couldn't rhyme them together, so he rhymed busted, 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 all 3. And then 3 lines in the middle that rhyme, and 2 inner rhymes up at the top of the first verse.
And we'll mention also that that song was written by Harlan Howard, one of the most prolific writers of music business in, well, in country music.
Yeah, all over the world.
And the other one was Joe South.
Yes.
Fine,
Two of
fine
my
writer.
favorite writers, yeah.
Good writers. And we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Two, 3 minutes? 4 minutes? 5 minutes?
Yeah. Oh, where?
Oh, we're back. Back to more business of words and music. And we're going to continue with discussion of structure. And I'm going to pass the guitar to our good friend Wally Lewis. And he's going to do us a little bit more example on some of the rhyming patterns. Although we don't want to get hung up on rhyming patterns, it just helps us get the words all the way to the end of the line.
Right.
Is that a good way of saying that?
Yeah, I guess so. You know.
Well, I'm going to pass the guitar to you.
Okay. Is the rhyming pattern the same as structure?
Well, probably has a part to do with it, but
It
it's
has
not the
something to do
only
with it,
thing.
doesn't it?
It's part of the bricks that make up the wall, but
Doesn't
it's not
really
the
have to
whole wall.
rhyme, does it? It
Right.
doesn't really have to rhyme. Rhyming's nice, but it doesn't really have to. You know.
Well, sign him some examples in some Roger Miller songs. A couple Roger Miller. Dang Me, Kansas City Star, some of
let's
those.
see. Roger really got after the rhyming patterns there, and I loved it. Just sitting around drinking with the rest of the guys. 6 rounds bought, and I bought 5. Spent the groceries and half the rent, like $14, having 27 cents. So dang me, they ought to take a rope and hang me high from the highest tree. A woman, would you weep for me? Now he gets
What's the
into,
rest of that?
oh, wait a minute, let's see. They say sugar's sweet and so.
No.
Huh?
Dip, 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 dip,
Oh,
dip.
I can't do that. You think I can pick that out on a guitar?
Well, that's part of the structure. Is that part of the structure? That's part of the structure.
That's part of the
isn't it?
structure, yeah.
Yeah.
It takes place of a guitar right in there, but it's part of the structure.
Okay, finish. Sing a little more.
Here, you sing it.
No,
Okay.
no, you sing it.
All right. I'm going to play a verse, and then you do that. Beep, 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 right?
Okay.
All right. They say roses are red and violets are purple and sugar's sweet and so's maple syrup. And I'm the 7th out of 7 sons. My pappy was a pistol, I'm a son of a gun. I said, dang me, they ought to take a rope and hang me high from the highest tree. A woman, would you weep for me?
I told you songwriting fun.
I love it. And poetic license, did he get away with maple syrup, man?
Well, you know, Roger, he knows all the rules of songwriting, and
Yeah.
once he knows them, you have the right to break them.
Hey, that's beautiful. I like that, man. Once you know the rules, you have a right to break them. Roger did break them all.
Well,
didn't he?
but you can't break them until you learn the rules.
That's great, man. Can you think, now we've been citing structure and rhyming example and what have you. Can you think of a couple of simplistic rhyming patterns or structure there that may be easier for a beginner to catch on to?
Well, I liked maple syrup.
Oh, I did too. I did too, man. His rhyming pattern may be a little complicated for the average guy starting out to write a song like I was, man. My verses were extremely simple, and the rhyming pattern was extremely simple. Can you think of an example like Cheating Heart?
Well, but you know, just like how Roger in Kansas City Star, Kansas City Star, that's what I are. I mean, see, he even broke the rules of grammar.
Yodelay-lady, you ought to see my car.
Yodelay-lady, you ought to see my car. I mean, whatever it takes to get the job done, Roger
Exactly.
will do it. And he has fun with his writing.
Oh boy! If anybody had any more fun, I don't know who it is. Wrote one of my favorite songs. Like I said, I quit having a favorite a long time ago. But Husbands and Wives.
Well, you know what
favorite song.
what he did in there?
What's that?
He never finished the song.
Hey, that's true.
Never finished the song. He goes doom dabba dabba doom dabba dabba doom dabba dabba doo dabba dabba, and never even finished the song. All he did was just hum or sing out to the rest of what there should have been there.
That's right. But there was a resolution, and so he did resolve
Well, I
it.
mean, what I'm saying, he finished the song,
Yeah.
but he didn't finish that line right in
Exactly.
that particular verse there.
Exactly.
He just put a little melody in it.
But wasn't it pretty?
Well,
it
the
was
guy's
beautiful.
a genius. He's a master thief.
Beautiful.
Steal from himself and never even know it.
Well, a bunch of writers here used to follow Roger Miller around, and they'd just listen to what he said with a pad and pencil, man, and they'd write it down.
He
'Cause
threw
came
away
up-
more ideas.
Came up with what was it, Hank Cochran? was sitting somewhere once, and Roger Miller came walking in. And Roger said, has anybody seen me lately? And Hank wrote a heck of a song, took that title, wrote a heck of a song around it, okay?
The last word in Lonesome is me. If I had half a heart to leave you. Phew, Roger Miller. Great songwriter in country music.
Roger wrote some conventional stuff too. When Two Worlds Collide. Just stuff that we would consider a down the road, you know, type stuff, or straight down the road. But then he got his business successes off the wall stuff. Luther's Got the Flu, Dang Me, England Swings.
Yeah, quite a little talent. He has a lot of fun with his
Oh
songwriting.
boy. But some simplistic rhyming patterns, which could be considered as a simpler structure for a song. For instance, like Your Cheating Heart. Your cheating heart will make you weep. You'll try and try to sleep, but sleep won't come the whole night through. Your cheating heart will tell on you. If I were starting all over again, that's a complicated writing pattern for me. That's what I'd have to do. Start out maybe a couple of words that rhyme in a verse.
Well, I think you've got to keep it about as simple as you can, Wally, to begin with.
Seems to be the key,
Especially, you know, until a writer gets out there and puts his shovel in a little more dirt. He just needs to just take a spoonful of that dirt at a time till he can learn to see what exactly will grow out of what he's got to plant with.
Yeah. Yeah, and how about subject matter? Subject matter, the best one, maybe, is the I love you thing, because that's always in season, right?
Well, Emerson, I think, said write about something as old as the rock and as new as the foam.
Oh, that's
And
good.
that only sounds like love to me.
That's good. Emerson, huh? How come I never got into this?
C.W. Emerson, wasn't he? Well, that's your uncle.
C.W. Emerson. He probably got in the line where they serve the whiskey. My relative. A long time ago, songwriting probably began with people that were in Tin Pan Alley. We're talking about United States songwriters.
I was thinking it was that guy on a beach somewhere, and he was singing for some fish for the supper that night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
What did he sing?
It was probably like, what do you do with that fish you're not going to eat? Is that an idea?
It could be. It could be. If a guy had some of the songs that came down over the generation, Buffalo Gal, you know, some of these songs were written about risque subjects, and then they took them and cleaned them up, and they made the market. You know, Buffalo Gals were, I think, prostitutes that were on this, and they were in Buffalo, New York. Is that right? Something like that. Anyhow, they were saying, Buffalo Gal, will you come out tonight? You know, and eventually they run across a bunch of people that didn't know what it meant, so the song got accepted.
That was probably the Buffalo Hide.
Maybe. Buffalo Hides, can you come out tonight?
We'll be back with some more words and music in this business in a minute. Don't go away. I said don't go away.
Must have a bladder the size of Illinois.
Well, I don't have to go but once a week.
Yeah.
Okay. How long does it take you to write this song? 15, 20 minutes?
How long does it take to sing the song?
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
All right, this is called The Feeling. Writers, Wally Lewis, Ira Allen, BMI. The seventh moon of Saturn must be in line with Jupiter and Mars. I'm not sure of the pattern, but I know our love was written in the stars. 'Cause when I think of how we might have been two ships that passed each other in the night, oh, it humbles me to know God chose the time and place to make this right. For at any other time or any other place, we might have laughed it off and gone our separate ways. But heaven had a plan too good for us to miss, and the feeling doesn't get any better than this. Our souls were drawn together by the planets. We're in love for all we're worth. 'Cause we felt the gravitation more with each rotation of the earth. So let's capture all the rapture of this moment and hold it in our minds. And we'll always have this feeling to fall back on when our hearts hit troubled times. For at any other time or any other place, we might have laughed it off and gone our separate ways. But heaven had a plan too good for us to miss, and the feeling doesn't get any better than this. For heaven had a plan too good for us to miss, and the feeling doesn't get any better than this. You know?
Okay.
Ooh.
Hey, we're not paying him for
Ready yet? The Way You Got Over Me.
Do it again.
The title is The Way You Got Over Me. Writers Wally Lewis, Ira Allen, BMI. It's as if I never touched those secret places in your heart, and the way you've held together truly is a work of art. And what's impossible for me, for you was easy as 1, 2, 3. I can't get over the way you got over me. And your eyes look as though not a teardrop had to fall. Why, anyone but me would think you'd never cared at all. I can't get started up this mountain that you've climbed so easily. I can't get over the way you got over me. And on your face there's not a trace of regret, not one clue that you remember what I'll die trying to forget. And what's impossible for me, for you was easy as 1, 2, 3. I can't get over the way you got over me. And what's impossible for me, for you was easy as 1, 2, 3. I can't get over the way you got over me. Is you just being you?
Take 2.
I'm on?
Yeah.
Okay. Writers, Shane Teeters, Wally Lewis. It must be nice to be loved. climb your social stairway to the stars. You hold your head up, girl, just as if you own the world, and that comes from being loved the way you are. And if the whole world turned against you, I'd stand up by your side. They'd have to go through me to get to you. And you can rest assured that my heart is always yours, 'cause I was born to love you like I do. And it must be nice to be loved as much as I love you, knowing all it takes is you just being you, something that's forever, no matter what you do. It must be nice to be loved as much as I love you. Turn I love yous into dollar bills, you'd be at least a millionaire by now. But your fortune's in the fact that if you never love me back, you know that I'll keep loving you somehow. And it must be nice to be loved as much as I love you, knowing all it takes is you just being you, something that's forever, no matter what you do. It must be nice to be loved as much as I love